Hey, Scott.
Hey, Pete.
Hey, have you used Neo Impact Acquisition yet?
No.
Oh, it's a new part of Simcenter Testlab Neo. I could even show you, we could do a little modal on this little plate here.
That would be great.
Yeah? You
Yeah,
want to do some impact acquisition together?
sure.
All
I'd
right.
love to see it.
So here in the Neo Testlab folder, there's a folder called Neo Structures Acquisition. If I
Okay.
double click on that, I can start impact acquisition.
Okay.
By the way, you could also search for it in Windows, Impact Acquisition, and bring it up.
Okay.
And I'll start it completely from scratch.
That'd be great.
And notice I got a checkbox here, Show to Hardware Selection Configuration. It's going to let me select what front end I want to use. I have a SCADAS hooked up.
Okay.
And we got Hammer and 2 Excels. I'll select the SCADAS. All right, and at first comes up in the Instrumentation tab here
Okay.
in the channels setup. Like I said, I have 3 channels, so I'll turn on 3. These are all ICP-powered transducers, so I'll switch the conditioning over here to ICP. I can do a copy here and paste if I want. The first channel is my hammer, so that'll be a reference here. And it's in units of force, so I'll switch that from acceleration to force. And I got a plate with 6 points, but I'll start by hitting at plate point number 1, so I'll put in plate 1 here as my initial location. I'll be hitting downward, so I'll call that the minus Z direction. And then with the Excel, Control C, Control V, I'll be hitting in the positive direction.
Okay.
And we'll also be measuring at location number 2 here, so I'll switch this to 2, and we'll measure in the plus Z. Sound good?
Perfect.
I'll enter the cal value for the hammer here. It is about 10 millivolts per Newton. And for the Excels,
Are those TEDS Excels?
yeah, TEDS, Transducer Electronic Data Sheets. I could say read TEDS. There's a little chip embedded in them
Perfect.
that has the calibration factor. Looks like it's 97.7 and 99.2. I'll hit accept, continue.
That makes it easy.
Yeah, so there I got my cal values. All right, I got 6 measurement points.
Yeah, what if I wanted to animate the geometry or see how this plate's going to move based on your measurements?
Yeah, then maybe I should create something called a geometry, huh?
Yeah.
Where do you do that typically?
I'm guessing you'd have to turn on the add-in.
Okay, so File, Add-ins. Oh yeah, there's something called geometry creation there. I'll load that up.
Perfect.
Go back.
Oh, now you have a geometry tab at the bottom.
Yeah, I do. So I'll select on that. I guess I'll create a component in my geometry.
Okay.
So this is a plate. So I said new component there, and then I'll rename this plate. You know, components could be if you had something with a roof and a trunk or whatever, you have different components. There I got my plate. Then what might I want to do?
I'll probably add some nodes.
Nodes or measurement locations. And I have, I guess, 6 laid out here. So I'll hit this button once, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times.
Okay.
All right. And then I'll enter some coordinates for where we're going to measure. What do you think, Scott? Look pretty good.
That looks good. I think we might want to connect those nodes, though.
Yeah. And by the way, shift, I can move that around. So to connect or make lines between them, what would I do?
Looks like you have lines highlighted there, but maybe
Yeah.
add.
Hit add then. All right. Oh, and if I hover over, it gets a yellow highlight. All right. Okay. I don't really want to make that connection.
No. Do you just click again on plate 3?
Yeah, if I click again, when
There you
it's
go.
highlighted, yeah, it'll stop adding. And then when I resume clicking, it'll keep adding again. Now, of course, in Modal, these are not structural. This is just to help you understand the mode shape. So they're more for aesthetics. But the points will move according to the measurements. I've got those added, so I'll hit stop. And by the way, back in instrumentation, there is a geometry lookup here where you can highlight points, highlight a channel, and then you hit this assign to channel.
Okay.
But we typed it in, so we already got that. So now I think I'm ready to do the measurement.
Perfect.
I'll go to impact here, and it's got 3 little sub-steps here. Hammer setup being the first one. If I click on this pull down, there's only one channel with units of force, so I guess that's my hammer.
Yep.
The first thing I want to do is set the trigger level here. So I'll hit start, and then maybe I'll take a few hits. And let's see, I got a cursor that I added, single cursor Y, and I can see, what do you think, Scott? 3 newtons sound like a good trigger level?
I think that'll work.
All right, so I'll say 3 there for the trigger level.
And does it set the pre-trigger here for you too, Pete?
It does. The pre-trigger is set to 1%. So
perfect.
When we exceed that level, it goes back in time to capture the whole event.
Perfect.
Yeah. All right. The next step here, I think this is something new to Neo. I don't remember it in Testlab Classic, something called campaign setup.
Yeah, that's new.
Yeah. And what this is, you can pre-plan your moves so that you can do all your measurements without entering stuff every time. Okay. So like in this case, I got 2 accels, 6 measurement locations. So I move the accels, do this measurement, second measurement, third measurement, 3 measurements total.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that should be good. So down here, I'll say I'm going to do 3 moves. So in that add there, I said 3, hit the button, and I got 3 things here.
Okay.
And the first 2 measurements I'll do are at points 1 and 2, then 3 and 4, then 5 and 6. Check this out. I prepared in advance a little bit, Scott. I got an Excel sheet with all my moves planned. I'll hit copy here, highlight this, hit paste. And yeah, points 1 and 2 are my first move, which it's calling a layout. Then layout 2 is points 3 and 4. Layout 3 are points 5 and 6.
Makes sense.
Okay. And by the way, as I click up here, notice it actually highlights in blue the points.
That's nice.
I think with the campaign planned, let's go over to measure. And I can still click over here to see where I am layout-wise. Tighten this up a little bit. So we'll start at position 1 here. And I'm going to take 5 measurements. And this is a new feature in Simcenter Testlab Neo. But of the 5 measurements, I can say I want to use at least 3 for the average. And it'll pick out of every 5 hits I do, the best 3 with the highest coherence, highest similarity. So I'll hit start. Cool. And so it picked the best 3 there. See that, Scott? Yeah. And now I can move to the next points I want to measure.
You actually clicked on an extra measurement there, Pete. I saw the icon change in mode.
Oh, I guess I can go back here and I can say, hey, discard my manual selections. I didn't mean to do that.
Nice. So you can pick FRFs even outside of what the software suggests.
Yeah, although the software is pretty smart. So
okay.
Yeah. All right. So I want to go to the next set of points here. I could hit increment, and looks like it goes to the next. So then I'd have to move the accels. If I wasn't able to increment, I could just click as needed where I want to measure. I'm ready for the second locations. It's highlighted those here. And up here, this one that's an all blue, Scott, if I pick this, this is just showing you which measurement it's displaying
Okay.
up here.
That makes sense.
Because there's 2 potential measurement locations right now. And there, I heard some extra ringing. Looks like I had a double hit. I can actually go back and look and see, like, oh yeah, I did do a double impact
Yeah.
there. And it automatically rejected it. And again, it found the 3 most consistent hits with the highest average coherence. All right. Now I can maybe go to the next layout. All right, and this time the first 3 hits I did were the most consistent, so it kept those. And so I've done all 3 of my measurements here. I can then hit this save results down here to save all the FRFs from all 3 measurement runs into my project. If I look in my desktop and I look in the current section, run 1 has all the time data from the hits, all the individual hits. Run 2 has the individual time data, but the campaign over here has all the FRFs from all 3 runs. Okay. You said you wanted to see mode shapes?
Yeah.
Yeah, what might I have to do for that?
I'm guessing similar to when we added in the geometry edit, we're going to have to do that for the modal analysis.
Oh, so under add-ins here, what would be a good add-in to do a modal? Oh, yeah, maybe modal analysis. I'll load that. And I've heard a pretty good curve fitter is this thing called Polymax.
I've heard good things.
Yeah, so I'll do that as well. And let's see. Oh, I got a modal. Okay. And at this point, I got, again, in this campaign, all the FRFs. I can say, put those in the input basket.
Okay.
And the input baskets, you can actually go through and look at a bunch of the data here if you want, but I'd like to do a curve fit. So I'm going to hit Modal Dashboard down here.
Okay.
And again, it's got all the data. It shows me a sum of the FRFs. I can select a bandwidth I want to do an analysis over. So maybe up to 700 hertz or so. I'll hit run. Oh, look at that, Scott. It went out and picked all the modes for me. And it's got a FRF synthesis of the modes that it selected against the original measured FRFs.
Okay.
It's got a fancy MAC table of all the mode shapes I can look at.
Yeah, and it seemed like it did it really fast.
It did. I like it. And then I can hit accept if I like those mode shapes. So that is pretty fast. You know what's even faster, Scott?
What's that?
Well, over here, there's a little... This is a screen that sometimes comes up at startup, which I had off. I had turned it off, but comes up. There's a lot of different steps there in Neo, but I only need a few of them to do a modal test. So I can come up to this little gear, and then down here I can say, look, I need to set up my channels. I maybe need to auto range.
Okay.
I need to do the hammer setup, and then I need to do the measurement, something like that.
Yeah.
I'll hit OK. And now back in the main Neo interface, there's a My Task group. And if I click there, it just has the tasks, and they're all from different steps previously that I need in order to do the modal, or at least the fewest steps possible. If I forgot something, like one of the key steps, like maybe doing the modal curve fit, I'd come back over here, hit the gear icon again and say, oh, hey, I meant to have the modal dashboard, so that I really have a compact set of steps to go through my test from beginning to end. Pretty nice.
That is nice.
All right. Thanks, Scott. I'm glad you learned a little bit about Modal with me.
Yeah, thanks for showing it to me, Pete.
Especially in Simcenter Testlab Neo. Seems very fast.
Yeah.